Good day to all, dear subscribers and viewers of the channel. Vitaly Sokolov with you. Today we are going to talk about one of the best game engines on the digital gaming market. Let's talk about its pros and cons and summarize. And before we get started, don't forget to put your thumb up under the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out on anything interesting. Go! Unreal Engine is a game engine created by Epic Games since 1996. Initially, this engine was sharpened for action first-person shooters. And the first game created with it was Unreal in 1998. At the moment, the engine's capabilities have grown a lot, but it is still mainly used to create action shooters, action RPGs, online MMOs and fighting games. Games of other genres, created on this engine, can be found much less often. The engine is written in the C++ programming language, and it is this language that is used inside the engine for programming games and making changes to the engine. Unreal Engine supports the following graphic formats: BMP, PNG, TGA, TGAS, PSDS, JPG, DDS, Float, PCX, EXR, HDR, FBX, OBJ, DFX and others. The following libraries are supported for graphics rendering: Direct3D, OpenGL, Pixomatic, Glide, S3, PowerVR. In terms of graphics, the Unreal Engine is the most powerful game engine in the world. It can produce the most detailed photorealistic graphics in games and highly detailed large-scale special effects like in Hollywood movies. Built in support for Nanite and Lumen technologies. The first technology allows you to create scenes with hundreds of millions or even billions of polygons and render them in real time, while the second provides developers with convenient tools for implementing dynamic global illumination and working with shadows. Particle and post-processing capabilities allow simulating natural phenomena and various effects rather quickly and easily. Optional. Direct Sound 3D, A3D are used for sound playback. 3D sound is supported. There is also support for voice text playback and speech recognition. Built-in support for the network and various input devices. It is possible to organize a network via Windows Live, Xbox Live, GameSpy up to 64 clients simultaneously in the game at the same time. There is a built-in physics engine that can work with many modern technologies. There is a technology of destructible objects, simulation of liquids, stones, fire, hair, and wood, as well as the behavior of vehicles and so on. You can create games on this engine without any programming at all due to the blueprints technology. With their help, you can customize the algorithms and interaction of parts of your game with each other. This is especially useful for beginners. Unreal Engine has a visual editor in which you can customize game scenes and objects on them in real time. Also, several people can work on one project at the same time. This is great for teamwork. There is a visual debugging function for identifying and fixing errors in the code. The game engine supports a huge number of platforms and operating systems: PC, Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS and Mac OS X. Consoles: Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5, PSP, PS Vita, Wii, Dreamcast, GameCube, Nintendo Switch. Augmented reality, Steam VR, Oculus Arkansas Core. Mobile platforms, Android and iOS. Browsers, WebOS, HTML5. During the existence of this game engine, a huge number of games have been created. As a rule, these are high-quality games created by large gaming companies. I invite you to watch a small video cut from such games.
กไปซะ
Let us begin. It has begun. No jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
There is an opportunity to submit a prototype of your game to the competition and receive a grant for its development. Epic Games partnered with Quixel to use highly detailed Megascan graphics in conjunction with the Unreal Engine for free. Another huge advantage of this engine is open source. This allows you to directly influence the operation of the engine, fix bugs, do optimization, and so on. It is better than buying or writing plugins for other engines and influencing the kernel using workarounds. License. The game engine Unreal Engine is a shareware game engine even for commercial projects. You are not required to pay for using this game engine if the amount of money earned by your game does not exceed $1 million. If your project has reached or exceeded this amount, then 5% of your earnings will be deducted from you in favor of supporting the game engine. But if you put the game on the Epic Games Store, you won't have to pay 5% of your earnings. We have analyzed the pros and cons of this game engine, and now we will draw your attention to its cons. The engine is tailored for different types of action games, so creating games of other genres may be less convenient for the developer. But video tutorials, articles, perhaps the ability to ask questions on the forum, and help information should remedy this situation. This engine is not geared towards indie developers, but rather professionals. Therefore, creating large projects alone on this engine is a rather difficult and lengthy task, unlike some competitors. But Blueprint's technology partially solves this problem. The engine has some difficulties in creating huge seamless worlds. But due to the open source code of the engine, this is a solvable problem. Processing a large number of characters and monsters with artificial intelligence on the stage greatly reduces the FPS. Therefore, it will be necessary to simplify the AI or not to process those who do not fall within the camera. If your project becomes popular and profitable, you will lose 5% of your profits. However, Epic Games Store can avoid this tax. High minimum system requirements when working with a game engine, at least 4 processor cores, 8 GB of RAM and a video card with support for DirectX 11. As well as hard disk space of at least 100 GB of free space so that there are no errors during installation and operation engine. And the recommended requirements for working with it are several times higher than those voiced. Therefore, not every computer will be able to work normally with this engine without lags, crashes and freezes. Also, the option of creating 2D games on this engine will not be the best. Since this engine is 3D-dimensional, and when working with 2D graphics, work is carried out through 3D technologies and a fixed camera. Because of this, your 2D project will consume more computer resources than similar games on 2D engines. But, despite a number of obvious disadvantages of the engine, its advantages outweigh. I would advise using this engine when developing action games and MMORPGs, as well as projects that require over-detailed graphics. It can be especially justified to use this engine when developing games with a large team. And I also ask you to draw your attention to the open source engine codes on GitHub, which will allow you to control every moment in the game development process. That's all for me. If the video was interesting, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. Vitaly Sokolov was with you. All bye and see you in new videos.